Hi there, I'm Joe Tyler. Are you stressed out, wigged out, freaked out, feeling anxious, angry, or depressed? Want to help people with real mental health problems cope? Keep it right here and get the latest word from experts in the field like me, Joseph Tyler, a consumer services assistant at the D. Townsend Hospital, a speaker for the Cause for Mental Health, as well as a state of Nevada NAMI president. On Erasing the Stigma, we take you, the viewer, into the brain's biochemistry, that is mental illness, and bacteriology safely. On Erasing the Stigma, we find hope for people whose lives have become unmanageable. So stay with us for the next few minutes as we erase the stigma for people with brain disorder. Here with me on Erasing the Stigma is a longtime friend, goes back as far as Bujo. Well, about maybe further than Bujo.
About 1994.
About 1994. Jerry O'Brien. He's a board member for NAMI Nevada. He's a board member for NAMI Nevada. He's a grants writer for NAMI Nevada. He facilitates some support groups. He's a great guy. But I'd like to jump into questions with Jerry forges ahead as a grants writer for NAMI, Northern Nevada, NAMI Nevada. And he has secured many dollars, including some I thought were not possible for us to get from Pfizer. This year we secured $2,500 for our educational programs. Jerry, what has transition been like working in biology, from working in your biology or schooling in biology, to being a technical writer, a grants writer, and writing articles for NAMI Nevada?
Well, I didn't have much of a career in biology. You know, I worked at.
Bujo's laughing. That's good.
I worked in a laboratory for maybe a couple of years, but I grew sensitive to the smell of the solvents and the wastewaters and everything like that. So, it's just nice to be able to.
It's a more white collar job, I guess. Right?
Yeah,
if you want to say that way. It's not the front lines quite as much.
No, it's you can just kind of sit. You can do it at your leisure, pretty much.
Yeah,
It isn't so much of a day job, but it's
not quite as demanding as.
Yeah, but actually, I never really had much laboratory skill, so I think I really made it through college on my writing ability anyway. And this,
Did you?
This.
I didn't know that about you, Jerry. That's cool. So writing.
I think it suits me much better.
Much better. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's keep going. Now, NAMI has not been able to hire anyone, needless to say, you know that.
Sure.
I mean, I worked as executive director for a little while, but I wrote my own grant to get that and stuff. But due to our all-volunteer nature, tell for our viewers how good it feels to attain a result of giving back to the community and to your NAMI organization. How good does that feel?
Well, it's nice to be able to do anything at this point, but being able to give back, it's just, it's just nice, being able to, people say that, I help, they read my articles, and it helps a lot of people, and, it's kind of nice. Yeah.
Okay. And then next question. All my life, Jerry, I'm kidding you here a little bit, I've looked for a career or a livelihood, and all I've ever found were jobs. It's a job. It's a job. And now, what's the Great Depression of 2009 look like from your perspective?
Well, I'm on disability, so I'm just glad to have an income. But still, I am, through NAMI and those sort of things, I'm able to, try new things, work at new skills, do writing and facilitate, and I mean, a lot of people have it much worse than I do.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I feel. Working in state government, we've seen the state boom and bust cycle a lot, and that's a tough thing. But for us in state government, some people have lost their jobs, but many of us have been able to hang on to our jobs, and we're just lucky that the state's able to keep providing for us, and I'm lucky to have stable employment because I get it through the federal government, and the federal government at this point is still pretty stable. So but let's see, keep going. Now you've done many grants as a starter project. Focus back to, I don't know how long ago that was. That was 3 or 4 years ago, wasn't it?
Actually, I did my first grant with the drop-in center. Barbara Jackson is in charge of is the director of the drop-in center, or she was. I'm not sure how that is now. And with her, with a lot of her help and Bob Bennett, they helped me write my first grant. And later on, last couple of years, I was able to write the mini grant with the Center for Excellence in Disabilities.
And that's kind of where you started your grants writing stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you're still continuing to some of that stuff, so that must feel good.
Yeah.
And then you presented with the NAMI board. What's happening with regard to disabilities activities at TMCC? And later, we actually saw, and I think you wanted to touch on this as we talked about before the interview, Ellen Sachs.
Yeah.
We saw the speaker for the Center Cannot Hold, a book that was very formative in a lot of people's lives for mental illnesses. The Center Cannot Hold.
Yeah. Well, I haven't read the book, but we've had some good events over the years. Joe did his routine for us over at TMCC, I think it was.
Yeah.
And we've had Fred Freeze. This is all with the Disability Awareness Coalition. It's a group that puts on events about disabilities and how people are, getting into education and being successful, while they have disabilities. There was, like I said, like you were saying, there was Ellen Sachs. There was Fred Freeze.
Yeah.
Ross Zabel.
Yeah.
And a few others. Ellen Sachs.
I remember Ellen Sachs because she talked about so crazy stuff about being in her neighborhood. We're kind of taping in my backyard here, but in her neighborhood, how she was reading people's minds while she was running down the street or driving down.
She was talking about how she was walking, she was walking to school or to her work or something, and it was just like very hard. Well, I couldn't describe it. She'd do a better job, of course, but just the kaleidoscope of how she was perceiving the whole trip.
The whole community, the whole system. Which at some points you feel that way when you walk down the street in your neighborhood, and you're working on people outside your back door, because you still have some tough stuff about how people can be outside your door and you're thinking about them talking about you and that kind of thing.
Well, I have to say, a lot of that I can, one of the things I've been able to do is I do some exercise. I walk through my neighborhood, and exercise is great for the mental health. I also lift weights, lift little dumbbells, and that helps quite a bit. I think you really, you cannot just take your meds. You have to exercise. I forget exactly what the question was.
Well, I was talking about how sometimes you feel like people are talking about you outside your door.
Well, I used to, always used to seem like, well, is my delusion, but I always imagined like a great crowd gathering outside my window, and they would talk about me, and you know, they'd say all sorts of nasty and crude things, and it was very difficult for a lot of years.
But hopefully some of that stuff you're able to put behind you a little bit. You know?
Yeah. You know, I'm currently on clozapine, and that has helped me quite a bit.
Yeah. And clozapine is a great medication. It's the gold standard. Donna Marie Shavovich was on this show recently, and she talked about her clozapine experience too. So, and we look around support groups, Jerry, sometimes, and we know that other people are doing good on it too. So it's
you know, like after maybe 20 or so years of mental illness, it's just nice to, you know, I kind of think of it, you know, the doctors finally got it right, you know, so it's very nice to be where I am right now.
Yeah, okay, well let's let Big Moosey. Do you want to do Big Eagle? Do you want to do Big Eagle? Big Eagle, Big Eagle. Big Eagle, Big Eagle, Big Eagle. Come on, don't look at me with that. Good, Big Bird. Now do it and say it. Big Eagle, Big Eagle. Come on, Big Bird, Big Moosey. Big Eagle. Big Eagle, that's right, for a nut, Big Bird. Obedient one.
Come here.
Come here. Is that a clear critter? Is that a clear critter? We'll do it one more time. Obedient one.
Come here.
Come here is right for a nut. Okay, now sing, Big Bird, sing. Can you hear that song? You know the routine.
Yeah.
And you want your trip to Hawaii, don't you? What's that song?
Oh, You're My Sunshine.
You're My Sunshine. Yes. He gets his trip to Hawaii. Yay! All you gotta do is pay for it. Okay.
All right.
Sing, Moosey, sing. You're My Sunshine. Is that loud enough for you? The whole neighborhood can hear that one. Is that loud enough for you, Big Bird? Okay. Did you know this is a hummingbird? Did you know this is a hummingbird? He's a hummer. And when I retire from state government, I'm going to... When I retire from rest, right, Big Bird. Because I've been working for about 11 years now. And time flies when you're having fun. But I'm an old fella, so there's still a chance to get something going with your life, Jerry.
Yeah, well, you know, I think about it sometimes, you know, I write about it, you know, I'd like to, you know, I mean, it's one thing to be a volunteer and give back, but it would also be nice, you know, just to have a job for self-respect, and, you know, there are better ways to, you know, it just seems to me that there are, you know, I'd rather have a job than just be on the dole.
I've been able to get back off of Social Security disability and get back onto a job, and it's taken me quite a few years to do that, but it can be done, and I think people can do it. And I know because you went through school, because you got a degree, and because you work hard, and you keep your nose to the grindstone that it could be done. You know, so
you know,
gotta keep dreaming, and success is hopes and dreams.
Well, you know, you always hope that you can put your education to some use.
And you're a director or coordinator for the Inner Out Voice program, and tell us, tell for the viewers what that feels like.
Well, you know, we do presentations. You know, people tell the story of the recovery. You know, it's kind of a hard question.
It is a hard question, I know, but because it's hard to get your foot in the door with those people in the community that can put us to work. I mean, you got that one thing at the National Guard, and we're still following up and to do that one.
Yeah. We also this year we had an audience with the Public Defender's Office.
That's right.
Lawyers
You and Mark
up
did
there.
that.
You know, we also did Mojave Adult, Child, and Mental Health.
That's right.
You know, the Mental Health Service. What else?
I've done in the past. Mark and I have gone up to the South Shore Lake Tahoe and done a presentation for the Community Mental Health Service at South Shore Lake Tahoe, and we did one for the VA too.
Oh.
We did one for the VA before.
Yeah, I'd like to do one for the VA.
The VA is a good one. It's a good one. People are very, very, very good. Well, let's see. Let's keep going. Okay. Now you recently started taking on roles as a connection group facilitator. You know, tell me how that feels to lead groups, because you've always been in groups. I mean, going back, I wrote an article in this Times newsletter about Rod Farrell, and how informative he was for me. And you were in Rod Farrell's group. I mean, in the group when Rod Farrell facilitated the group. But how does it feel to be in the facilitator's chair now?
Well, you have to pay a lot more attention.
And you're capable of doing that more than you used to be. So,
as a facilitator, I have to say that you really don't run the group. The group pretty much runs itself. The only thing I do as facilitator is keep people focused on, the task at hand. I try to make sure that everyone has their say, and but also that people, the people who are having a really hard time, that they get some support from the group. So
it's basically rounding off the rough places for the group. Some people are gonna be boisterous anyway, and you got to kind of keep those people from being too boisterous. And the people that don't get to talk enough, you got to get them to talk a little more. And round it off a little bit.
Some people have continuing issues. Some people have a really bad day, or just are on going through difficult times. And really, you try to give everyone, what they need, hopefully they, you hope to give them what they need.
Well, okay,
and,
go ahead.
It's just very, very different being a facilitator than being.
It is different.
Yeah.
Well, you don't get to share as much yourself, your own issues. You only share your own issues when you have to. When you have to prove an example of something.
Yeah.
You do it to show an example.
Yeah. And to let people know that other people, that you've gone through similar problems, and it gives you some, what's the word? Can't think of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's go. Let's see. Now, in your to finalize, your articles in the Recovery Journal newsletter are wonderful.
Thank you.
And formative of our ideas as to what are your favorite writings, and I can think of some where you asked, where are you going to be in 5 years? That was from past to present.
The past.
That was a great article, a time kind of a frame article, because it's coming from somebody who's just recovering, just on the edge of their recovery. That was very formative. And then another one was the treatment modalities article about how there are new ways to diagnose and treat people and that kind of thing. And all this stuff seems to just flow from you. It seems very good. But so, what were your favorite articles? What are your favorite stuff that you've written that people commented on, maybe?
Well, I've written a number of articles. A lot of people like the future through the present, it was called.
Yeah. That's a good one. That was.
And let's see. Well, what was it like? You're asking?
Yeah. What's it like writing stuff, writing articles? What kind?
Well, I think that it doesn't come. It doesn't come from just out of the air. A lot of them come from things that I've thought about, from going to the support groups, issues that struck me as you know, how, or I there was this one article I remember. I was talking about how hallucinations, how people, I when I was growing up, and I heard about people with voices, I always, in hallucinations, I always thought, well, people might be able to think to themselves, oh, this isn't real, and ignore it.
Yeah.
But it's just like looking at mental illness, from being in it, or how people outside of it look at it, or
and that's what you hit on, was that you think people should just be able to stop that. And people in society think, why do people think that stuff? They should be able to just control it. But it overcomes you. It overcomes you.
Yeah, it's very seductive.
Very seductive.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's end the show with a little bit of let's see if we can figure this out. I think. How you doing, Big Bird? How you doing, Big Bird?
I'm your